A warm welcome to the program. All attention is on South Africa as tallying and announcement of results from across the country takes place after Wednesday's general elections. So what do we have so far? Nearly two-thirds of voting districts in the country put the ruling African National Congress ANC on course to retain power. But wait for it, it is actually heading for its worst performance in a national poll in its 25 years in government. Ballots in 64% of nearly 30,000 voting districts have been counted. The early tallies put the ANC on 57% in the parliamentary race, with the main opposition Democratic Alliance DA on nearly 23% and the leftist Economic Freedom Fighters EFF on nearly 10%.
They have known each other for at least 20 years. They work for the same car rental organization and live in the same Soshanguve township of Pretoria. But Alfred and Jean have failed to agree on the credibility of the 2019 election results.
We cannot point fingers to each other. Let's leave IEC.
Can I ask Alfred a question?
Yes.
Who's funding IEC?
I'm not sure because I'm not following politics.
IEC is funded by the government. Who is the government?
Everybody is the government.
Not many, not everybody.
Even you are a government.
No. ANC is the governing party. So which means they are the ones that are funding the IEC. Do you really expect that the ANC can blame the IEC?
No, Mr.
33-year-old Tibelo Alfred Mokoshi, who followed elections on television, says he trusts the electoral system that has given African National Congress, ANC, a provisional lead.
I do trust them because each and every voting station, there were police who were deployed there, even the station commander. If they see something that were not going to according to their plans the way they're supposed to be done, they were going to report it.
In a very speedily way.
Fauja Mofo, on the other hand, followed the results on radio while working.
It needs to be tested.
He said he is extremely disappointed in loopholes identified by voters in the electoral process.
People have voted.
But the thing that I'm not happy is the problems that we are talking about. Those 700 complaints, those things that people went to the polling station and find that there was no voting wrong and there was no scanner at the problem with the mark, are the things that make me think that the election were not free and fair.
The Electoral Commission on Thursday said it would conduct an investigation on some of the reported anomalies.
So this very open system that can be followed by all the journalists here, all the observers, all the political parties, and even every South African from the comfort of their homes is one of the reasons why, despite several anomalies and complaints that have been raised, the Electoral Commission still enjoys a high level of trust from the people.
Our journalist Diana Mumbere there with that report on the different opinions on the credibility of the polls there in South Africa.
Eh bien, Jerry, on vient de le voir dans le sujet. L'ANC domine les suffrages des scrutins.
Like we've seen, the ANC dominated the votes in Wednesday's election, a victory that, if confirmed, would mean a new mandate for Cyril Ramaphosa. But in view of the already recorded tally, this result would be the worst performance for Nelson Mandela's party in parliamentary elections.
Joining us now from South Africa is Ntando Nkumbe. Ntando is a journalist based in Johannesburg. Ntando, a warm welcome to you, and thank you for joining us this morning. Numbers from the Election Commission show that this election has registered the lowest voter turnout since 1994, 25 years ago. What do you think is changing about voters in South Africa?
Basically, to say that according to the reports that are available, that are coming from the IEC, almost 10 million eligible voters that is not registered. A main reason can be put attribute to this, but there are a couple of things that can be noticeable. There is an increase of social injustice in the communities. These are some of the things that are causing people to continuously lose their zeal to vote. There is the issue of corruption. There is high level of corruption. Again, these things, when they are facing the community, when they are facing the people, they see that they are voting people to go in to benefit themselves, not to benefit the communities, not to benefit the society. It's one of the contribution. Again, I can also try to point, there's also another thing that is coming up into our politics, especially in South Africa. Even African politics, there is a lot of splits that are happening. You see a bigger party splitting annually. And soon, when you go closer to elections, maybe 2 or 3 parties emerge from one political party. This is another reason that is causing people not to come into vote. They see that maybe the politicians are playing with them. Politicians are playing with their minds, and they are just trying to drive their agenda. So if they are not agreeing to 1 or 2 ideas, one goes away from the party that is only party. There are many political parties that are emerging. We see the shit is growing bigger and bigger. It's not that it's democrats, but the reason is that people who are starting their own parties, they are grand, or they are people who are trying to drive their own ambition. And at the end of it, it causes people not just interested in voting.
The opposition is claiming some sort of rigging, citing double voting. Is their concern significant to affect South Africa's democratic standards?
Yes, we are saying South Africa has a very good reputation in terms of democracy. The issues that are coming and that are still coming, I think that there are minor irregularities or malpractices that are emerging, that I don't think there's a big dent to the democracy. But what it has a dent to the Electoral Commission, because you would say most of the irregularities, some of them is just like coming as weakness from the Commission. So what I think it will just give a bit of a dent to the Commission, that it needs to upgrade itself. And I don't believe this thing is going to affect much even the outcome or the perspective of South Africa as a democratic country. It's only that what you would say that the Commission has accepted to take all the concerns, all the opposition parties, they are coming up with, they are still compiling their stories that are being accepted by the Electoral Commission, which means that democracy is still there. They are being entertained, they are being given opportunity, they are being given room to bring all whatever they have. So at this stage, I don't think it's something that we can cry foul about. Yes, it happened and it's happening, but it's very insignificant to attribute it as something that can affect the democracy of South Africa.
Okay, and well said. We'll continue to pay attention, though, to the vote counts. And looks like from any moment from now, we should be hearing of the final results. In any case, Ntando, thank you for speaking with us. South African journalist Ntando Nkube with us there from Johannesburg, South Africa.